Hey guys, it's time to Nephis and Joe. In this video, we'll be talking about the Update 32, or the Deadlands DLC Update Nerf to Mistform. Take note that the Mistform nerf only affects PvE for the most part. And some parts of PvP, I suppose, if you're going up against NPCs. Because a change to Mistform next patch is going to be the reduction of damage by 75%. Only against player-sourced damage, as long as you're in the form. This has been quite a questionable decision on part of the combat devs, particularly based on the feedback so far from a lot of the community. So why this change occurred, I'll try to explain, and why I think it's like not that great, I'll also explain. So, Mistform. In PvE, Mistform, historically speaking, was not really used much by tanks or really anyone in PvE. There were some instances, and you'll find old videos on my YouTube channel of me doing Mistform as a VAS hard mode off tank, and this was like 2017. And that was only for really one reason, the major expedition from the Mistform, also stacked with Swift. And the reason why they're doing this is because in the patch notes they cited that players were not using this as a disengagement tool, particularly in PvE, but as a way to cheese or get around intended mechanics or to avoid danger or whatever, was said. I really don't like the way they kind of present that statement. I'm sure there's like a bunch of people probably using Mistform for like some DLC dungeons to circumvent some mechanics. And of course the biggest thing we're using Mistform right now, pre-update 32, is going to be Rockgrove, and Rockgrove hard mode especially, particularly for Boss 2, Boss A. And they are nerfing Death's Touch next patch as well for Rockgrove. But Death's Touch is not really the only reason why we use Mistform, and it's going to be the dots from the fire or the flame behemoths and the flesh abominations that go in the off tank. And of course, there was a PTS group recently that went to go test Rockgrove hard mode, or at least Boss A hard mode with Mistform. Obviously, it was a struggle at first, but they did adjust to it to a degree where the healers started focusing more on the off tank as Death's Touch was nerfed, and the healers had a bit more ample time to focus on other people other than themselves. The off tank in question, I believe Higano, he had some trouble initially at first and started handling it a bit more better. So there's going to be an element of relearning the fight or reprogressing the fight as an off tank at the very least, maybe the main tank too, depending, since Mistform doesn't work against Death's Touch or Boss A's attacks anymore. What really irks me though about the patch note comments is like insinuating that we were using it to just get around damage or like to somehow avoid damage. You can still die in Mistform on Boss 2, Boss A hard mode. And it's also a bit it's a bit frustrating to me because the feedback we gave to at least the trial devs at the time for Blackwood PTS was these dots are really too much. And the only way we can consistently do Boss A hard mode in a efficient manner of time to get the hard mode speedrun no death, because really what is the end goal of doing hard mode if not for the trifecta achievement? The only way to do this consistently and very efficiently is for us to use Mistform. And of course this applied to the DPS going downstairs on Boss A hard mode to Mistform and damage the ghosts. And of course they did nerf the Gravedorn, which is the damage that goes out from killing those ghosts. So probably you'll go back to doing one light attack or two light attacks and a shield cast or something like that. But we gave this feedback. And we were basically told, oh, up until like, what, PTS week 4 or 5, that, we gotta keep trying the content out, or we gotta figure it out or something. And to this day, I have not seen a single Planesbreaker group not use Mistform to any degree on Bossy Harmon. And my feedback personally at the time was, well, endgame players, even if we don't fucking enjoy it, we'll do it. That's basically what we've been doing since long before Morrowind patch. It's just like they should probably consider taking our feedback seriously, like actually seriously, starting with the next trial, because it's kind of weird for important elements of a trial fight to be almost completely changed 6 or 5 months after release. And that's what PTS is for, so that's all I'm going to say on the matter. As for the actual removal of Mistform from PvE, you can still use Mistform in PvE. But you won't get the damage mitigation. All you'll get, really, is negative side effects of not being able to be healed, your recovery stats being disabled. Of course, you do get immunity to CC, but we don't really. I mean, that's also kind of whatever. And I understand that there are some players or groups that have been using Mistform to some degree in trials as well, not just DLC dungeons. I think like Navi hard mode statues or whatever. But that's all irrelevant because stuff like that can just easily be tackled on by other methods, like using your eyes and walking out of the AoE. And the fact that Mistform is somehow regarded as some sort of free get out of jail card, it's not simply true at all. As a tank especially, you can't be healed, which is dangerous enough. Your recovery stats are disabled. You don't get health recovery, you don't get magic recovery, you don't get stamina recovery. And worst of all, you can't buff, debuff, or taunt in Mistform. So there were huge drawbacks to using Mistform, even for like experienced groups. But yeah, that's really the only thing about the patch that's bothering me. The fact that they're insinuating, oh, players were abusing this too easily or whatever, which is not true. But we're going to remove it from PvE. I just don't know about that change, removing from PvE. But whatever. It is what it is. And that's pretty much it. That's the change coming to Mistform next patch.